WWE have been on a roll in 2023, with the product breaking records left, right and center. Whilst everything is going smoothly for WWE, there's a major criticism when it comes to the product, and it relates to the in-ring work, specifically certain wrestlers' finishing move. A finishing move should stand out and be impactful, but the 10 finishes on this list are failing to hit the mark, and the wrestler who delivers a finishing move needs to go back to the drawing board to find a move that is more suited to their specific character. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 of the worst finishing moves in WWE currently. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. Bayley, the Rose Plant. When WWE made the welcome decision to turn Bayley heel, she needed a new finisher immediately. Due to Bayley's heel turn, the Bayley to Belly wasn't going to work as a finishing move, and that's when she came up with her finisher, the Rose Plant. The move is an arm trap headlock driver, and the move since its inception has looked incredibly weak. The move is just lackluster and lifeless as a finishing move, as it always fails to receive a reaction from the crowd. There have been vocal calls from fans to see Bayley introduce a new finishing move, but it looks like this is never going to happen. The only way that this finisher is going to be made obsolete is if Bayley reverts to a babyface persona and the Bayley to Belly makes a dramatic return. Number 9. Jinder Mahal, the Khalas. For the majority of his WWE tenure, Jinder Mahal has used a finishing move known as the Khalas. The move could look great, but the execution is always sloppy, and it doesn't seem to matter who Mahal is performing the move on, the sell of the move always looks unconvincing. Despite the finisher being terrible, Mahal somehow won the WWE title with the move back in 2017. Whilst the move is never going to win any Finisher of the Year awards, there is a fascinating backstory to the move which Mahal shared during an interview with Sportskeeda. I came up with the name along with the Singh brothers. The inspiration is actually from a Hindi movie. It's a song called Khalas. It just means finish, so it's fitting, and it's easy for our English commentators to pronounce. There were actually a couple of names I thought of that were easy for the commentators to say for our American audience to say what sounds good and what has meaning. I think it's a very impactful word and a good name for a finishing move. Yeah, it sounds great, but looks awful. Number 8. Braun Strowman running power slam. Braun Strowman's WWE return in 2022 was welcomed by fans, as Strowman was a talent who was truly over with the audience, and it made a lack of sense for WWE to release him back in 2021. While Strowman isn't exactly Shawn Michaels in the ring, his in-ring work is decent, and he's been known to deliver some excellent matches during his WWE career. One of the problems with Strowman's in-ring work is his finishing move. Strowman uses a running power slam as his finisher, and when Strowman returned in 2022, fans hoped that a new finisher would be introduced. The move is fine for a standard move, but for a finishing move, it's a terrible fit for a wrestler that is presented as some kind of monster. In terms of possible alternative finishers, a chokeslam or even a variation of an F5 are all sensible options for the former Universal Champion. Number 7. Indy Hartwell, Forearm Smash. Indy Hartwell is definitely a talent that WWE will be pushing over the next few years, but her moveset has gone through a serious identity crisis. Hartwell just can't seem to find a finishing move that suits her character, and this has resulted in her winning matches with various moves throughout her time in the company. At one stage, Hartwell was using a suplex as a finisher, and when she first won a match with the move, it was met with utter silence as fans couldn't believe that a traditional move was being used to end a match. Hartwell opts to use a forearm smash variation for her current finisher, and whilst the move could be great, it just lacks any fire and fails to provoke a response from the audience. Number 6. Liv Morgan Oblivion. Fans appear to be split when it comes to the debate surrounding Liv Morgan's finisher. Some fans love the Oblivion as they think it's perfect for Morgan's character and persona. However, some fans believe the move looks clumsy and the execution is always leading to a botch of some kind. The move itself does stand out, and the secret to the move comes down to the selling. If the move is sold effectively, it can look absolutely devastating. However, if the talent taking the move is unaware of how to properly sell it, then it can look absolutely terrible. WWE and Morgan are unlikely to change the move, as the move has somewhat been protected over the past 12 months, and Morgan would even pin Ronda Rousey with the move at the 2023 Money in the Bank PLE. Number 5. Charlotte Flair Natural Selection. Charlotte Flair's figure 8 move is the perfect move for Flair, as it represents her character as well as pays tribute to her father Ric Flair. However, when it comes to Flair's secondary finish in the Natural Selection, it's sadly not received from the WWE fanbase. The move is rather lackluster to look at, mainly because the opponent taking the move has to fall a short distance, meaning that there's a lack of impact. The move is prone to botches as Flair and an opponent must be on the same terms in terms of when Flair is about to jump over them and when the opponent is supposed to smash their head onto the ring mat. Flair has attempted to introduce a third finishing move, that being the Big Boot, but this hasn't taken off. Number 4. Grayson Waller Rolling Stunner. It's fairly common in WWE for people to question the logic of certain moves. Often, wrestlers like to add elements to a move that ultimately do nothing to enhance the impact of the move itself. This is arguably the case when it comes to Grayson Waller's Rolling Stunner finishing move. For the move, Waller will roll into the ring from the outside and then leap and perform a stunner style move. The question is, does this roll into the ring add anything to the move? Now, it could be argued that the roll is adding momentum, yet surely a stunner is a stunner and it doesn't matter if Waller rolls or not. Nevertheless, the move looks great visually, so it's very unlikely that WWE will ever ask Waller to ditch the move. Number 3. Becky Lynch Manhandle Slam. Becky Lynch introducing a secondary finishing move made logical sense. Lynch had predominantly used the disarmer as a finisher, and using a non-submission move as an alternative finisher would allow her to win matches without having to make someone tap. The Manhandle Slam finishing move is virtually a rock bottom, but the move always looks sloppy. The move relies on the opponent jumping as high as humanly possible, yet most of Lynch's opponents have never received the memo and seem to awkwardly jump and fall to the mat in a heap. Lynch is such a well-rounded pro wrestler, and it's such a shame that the Manhandle Slam is doing her a disservice. Number 2. LA Knight BFT. 2023 has truly been the year in which LA Knight's popularity has skyrocketed. LA has gone from a manager to being one of the most organically beloved wrestlers in the entire company. One of the criticisms often directed towards LA Knight is that his in-ring work is disappointing. LA has everything nailed down, but his in-ring work sometimes lets him down, and it's also a problem that his finisher is rather underwhelming. LA Knight uses a finisher known as the BFT, which stands for Blunt Force Trauma. The move can look good, but it all depends on what wrestler is taking the move. The move can look kind of awkward upon execution, and the timing has to be just right to make it look like a credible finishing move. If LA Knight is going to move up the card, which does indeed appear to be the plan, then a new finishing move should be introduced, as it would truly help take LA Knight to the next level in WWE. And number 1, Austin Theory ATown Down. There has been a lot of criticism directed towards Austin Theory, as a strong portion of the fanbase question if Theory is ready for the big time. Theory's in-ring work is decent and he is more than capable of having great matches, yet his finishing move could do with some improvements. Theory's finisher is called the ATown Down, and it seems like Theory positions his opponent in a fireman's carry before dropping them onto his knee. The move is fine, but there's something about the move which is failing to connect with the fans. WWE have tried endlessly to get the move over, and Theory would even defeat legendary John Cena with the move at WrestleMania 39, yet this did little to improve the legitimacy of the finishing move. It would be a smart option for WWE to give Theory an alternative finishing move, and the former Money in the Bank holder could perhaps opt to use the ATown Down as a signature move instead. But there you have it, folks. 10 of the worst finishing moves in WWE currently. Do you guys agree? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.